What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Anthony Joshua, Rob Mccracken. Get this. Finally, we have an explanation of why Anthony Joshua left Rob Mccracken. And he reveals why he left Rob Mccracken. He had this, first of all, to say. He says, I've got to get those years back. And he says, when I looked at Mayweather, he had two phases of his career, Pretty Boy and then Money May. And he just became smarter. So I was just trying to get smarter as a fighter. That's all. When I got beat by Ruiz, I had my health issues, but I kind of knew that at some stage, I'm probably going to come unstuck. Why? Because I didn't feel like I was learning. I was fighting, but I wasn't learning. So that's why after the first Ruiz fight, I went through the rebuilding phase. Completely changed my style, stick, move, hit, and don't get hit. Then I tried to take that further on in my career with Usyk, and he is the master of that shit. He compared the Texan trainer's work to that of Rob Mccracken. He said, yes, I wish my path had crossed with Derek James earlier. Rob's a really good coach. The only thing I'll say that, though, is look at Froch's nose. He just didn't teach me defense. And in heavyweight boxing, the level of competition I was facing at the stage of my career, I was getting hit way too much with clean shots. I was sparring Solomon Decrease and Lewis, the tall 6'5" guy in Miami for Ruiz, who's 5 foot. Rob was in Japan for the Olympics. He only came back 7 weeks before it. I just know it's not good enough for where I'm at. Derek reminds me of Rob, but a lot more invested. Rob was too committed to the Olympic team, not the pro team. I gave Rob my best years, and now I've got to dig deep to get them back again. Those are the words and the explanation of Anthony Joshua, and let me counterpunch. Listen, sometimes you make mistakes, and I think, if anything, if we were going to rate the trainers of Anthony Joshua, okay, we would have to start at the current, Derek James. Then the second would be Rob Mccracken, and of course the third by default would be Robert Garcia. Okay, and why do I say this? Is because he didn't have anything remotely good to say about Robert Garcia lately. You know, sure, when he was training for Usyk too or whatnot, but you know, he was saying that, hey, I just wasn't learning anything. Well, he said that about Rob Mccracken as well, and he actually referenced Carl Froch's nose. He was like, look at Carl Froch's nose, because, you know, that means he took a lot of shots. But then I think you have to take into account on how Carl Froch fought. Carl Froch was a scrapper. He fought a lot like Juan Manuel Marquez. He likes to mix it up. And for that reason, he left himself open. You know, when you're throwing punches in combination, that's the best time to get countered. You know, I was watching Andre Ward and Carl Froch the other day. And Carl Froch was really trying to mix it to the body because he was trying to take the air out of those tires of Andre Ward. But Andre Ward was constantly countering upstairs while he was doing all this, you know, aggressive body punching by combination. You know, he was getting caught. So, yeah, I think that may be credit to Carl Froch himself on the way he fights, you know, on his decision to do certain things. And speaking of bloody noses, hey, let's be real. Anthony Joshua had a bloody nose his last fight against Jermaine Franklin. That was the first blood signs of that fight was with Anthony Joshua. Like, oh, shit, his nose is bleeding. Okay, so, you know, you're going to get hit. So I don't think it's a perfect way to try to fight a fight, because there's always something you can improve on. Sure. You know, but I think the main problem between Anthony Joshua and Rob, what I can extract from this particular article is that Rob wasn't there. Rob had too much shit going on top of trying to train Anthony Joshua, and he simply couldn't. You know, and a lot of people have mentioned that. You know, they've mentioned like, well, Rob Mccracken was was with his Olympic team most of that time, and Angel Fernandez was mostly with Anthony Joshua, not Rob Mccracken. Okay, so he didn't really spend a lot of in-depth time with Anthony Joshua, which I think that's what Joshua needs. He needs someone that's going to be more for him. But on another note, it's good that he has that element of other fighters around him that coach is also training to see how that coach responds with the command of those other fighters. You know, you can learn and absorb from a lot of people, especially when you're in a classroom with a lot of smart people, as opposed to being in a classroom with only a tutor. You learn more from those other students and pupils. Okay, so I think that's essential for him as well, for him to be successful. And it makes you wonder, like, what type of Anthony Joshua will we get, you know, for that? And another thing, you can't get those years back, Anthony. Those years are gone. I think you need to focus on the future. I don't see Floyd Money Mayweather focusing on his time wanting to be pretty boy again. No, because he knows that's a phase. Those times are over. Let them go. You can't get them back. That's it. You know, you can become smarter, not work harder. You got a coach that will possibly and hopefully help you, you know, become what you really want to be. Okay, but with Rob Mccracken, a lot of people should have said he should have left Rob Mccracken. Of course, guys, fans like myself, you know, didn't really see that, but he was getting hit with shots, and I just think that was a choice thing, just like Carl Froch, on how aggressive he wanted to be in the ring. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Rob Mccracken, Anthony Joshua, and his decision to leave Rob. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!